Good morning, everyone. Hope you are having a wonderful Friday, August 6th, 2021. Looks to be a maybe slightly quieter day with some nice potential. So let's get after it here, right? So let's start off things with the SPY, right? We're still kind of stuck inside this chop box, right? Yesterday, good day, but again, right, thin volume on this directional day. So now we're still waiting, see if we can get that breakout, right? Still haven't had it, so if we can get that up and over today, I certainly like that potential over this 442. What we do need to be worried about today, right, is non-farm payrolls. So those come out in about 10 minutes or so, right, and that's going to influence sort of how the market chooses to behave today. So if we get that strong number, we're going to get that pop up and over, right, and then hold, and then we'll be looking for entries. If this thing breaks down, it's either going to stay inside this chop box or break down underneath. I'll be interested in plays under this sort of 436 area, but inside this chop zone, I don't really have that much interest here in the short term. Right, similar story here on QQQ. This is going to be a little bit dependent, right? How much the market's going to move today based on those non-farm payrolls. Right, so if we can get that rip up and over that 370, say 05, 370.10 area, right? This thing's got a lot of potential to kind of keep giving you that move, right? What's been happening so far this week is it's a little bit choppy, right? But we're getting that nice, one or two nice setups here in the morning, right? And then things get super quiet in the afternoon, right? Or we find that outlier in the afternoon. So I'm hopeful that we can get a few triggers, right? And this QQQ certainly looks like one of them. So we'll be watching this, right? Let's see how this thing comes together. Same story as with the SPY, right? We're at all-time highs here. So if we gap up and over and hold, right, that can still be a trigger, right, to look for kind of continuation breakout moves. So we'll have to see how this thing comes together. Maybe kind of by the end of this video, right, data is going to be out. And we'll be able to take a quick look at it and update our plans. But for now, right, we know how we're going to play this. So if the non-farms are bad, right, we're going to get those breakdowns. We're probably going to stay away until these dip buyers are invalidated, right? And if it's a good number, well, hopefully we can get that rip up and over or look to get that, gap up, hold, and go. Okay, right? Apple inside bar yesterday, right, and then kind of a fake out on either side, right? We made a higher high, made a lower low. So it doesn't really, I think it's a little bit deceptive, right? Because we didn't really get that breakout over, right, this inside bar high, right? So this was already, say, this 147.85 area, right? Well, we'd be looking for breaks over that 148 area. So it gave us a little fake out over this inside bar high, but still wasn't able to break out above, say, this August 3rd high, right, or low. So those are sort of the ranges that I'm interested here on this inside bar breakout. So to me, right, this doji, this August 5th doji, still kind of just looks like further consolidation. Not quite inside bar, right, but nice period of consolidation here. So if we can get that rip up and over, this thing looks pretty strong. I'm not really interested in downside place here until we can get that wedge breakdown. So if we do get that wedge breakout trigger, on this inside bar trigger, I'm more interested in that breakout over that 150, right, towards that kind of 149.50, 150, all-time highs area, right? And then if you can get that pop over, maybe you'll get that follow through. So you get that that wedge breakout follow through. So that's definitely my bias on Apple. Let's see if it can come together later today. Tesla, right? Another one. I talked about this a little bit earlier in the week, right? How all these wicks, right, have been giving us those fake outs, right, and telling us that this area is getting defended by sellers, right? So I think in the blueprint, probably August 3rd, I think it was, put together that, okay, Tesla was on pause until we see a period of consolidation, right? Or an inside bar or something like that. Well, that's exactly what we've gotten here in Tesla since we've had this 727 rejection, right? So we've had a nice inside bar here, right? Failed breakout. Same thing like this Apple though, right? Where it doesn't go above this sort of high that we're targeting, right? So still in play. and then again another inside bar yesterday. So we're seeing a really nice period of consolidation, right? We're not seeing any evidence that sellers are able to really push this thing down now under the 700. So I'm starting to feel like these wicks really aren't going to be an obstacle anymore. So let's see if we can get that breakout up and over that 727, right? Maybe you want to round that up to 730, depending on how this thing opens. But this Tesla could be a really fun play today, and I'll be excited to see where it can go, right? It has room towards that 750, right? You're probably looking at like 737, 740, and then that 753 zone as areas of resistance. So this Tesla has rocket ship potential if it can give us that breakout up and over, right? Exactly this nice period of consolidation that we wanted to see. So pretty stoked on that. I was just going to see if this was that Tesla one. Let's see. So yeah, this is from a few days ago. But so I like this consolidation here, right? Let's see if we can get that rip up and over. But definitely looks really strong. Right, Microsoft, another one of those things. We're getting a lot of these leading names, right? They're telling us similar stories, right? They're telling us, bullish breakout stories, right? So that's a clue, right? You're just stacking up clues here. So, right, another one here, Microsoft. Been waiting for this ascending wedge breakout continuation for a while, right? So if we can get this rip up and over that 290.30 area, right? That's sort of that consolidation we're looking for. You can almost look at this as a cup and handle here, right? Where, see if I can draw this nicely, right? It kind of, there's your cup, right? If you can get that handle, touch and bounce, right? Or just that breakout, right? It doesn't need to be perfect all the time, but if you can get that kind of move, right? This thing could be a pretty interesting explosive breakout, right? I just love this consolidation and curl, right? You're finding the strength off of this 284, can't really break down further underneath. Right, and that was that previous ascending wedge breakout high, right? So this kind of zone here, right? So it's been really consolidating, holding that line, and now kind of giving us that fall through, right, and bouncing over. So we're looking for that, further continuation breakout over this 290.30. Very much near the top of my watch list this morning on this Microsoft. I think this might be one of the nicest looking plays, right? So. Definitely will be on the lotto list for today, right? You can try to play this, something really ambitious. But I'll be looking to play this probably with 290 calls, right, for a move towards that 295 area. So let's go over a few of the daily setups that I like. There's not as many today as there have been this week, sort of earlier this week, but that's kind of expected by Friday. The other thing, right, it's been a little bit of a slower week, not a bad week by any means, right, just a little bit slower where, like I mentioned, right, we're not getting that many triggers. So, right, and that a lot of that's to do with sort of the uncertainty, right, just a little bit of maybe we're digesting the news, right, things are moving nicely, but we're just not getting that many things that are moving, right, while the market chops about. So that's really why it's happening, right. Market is stuck in range-bound conditions, so we're not going to get many, trend breakouts, right, when the market is stuck. So it doesn't help that the VIX is pretty chill, right? It's hanging out that 17.18, right? It's going down. And when we have that VIX handle, right, that opens, say, sub 20, right? Generally, what that's kind of meant is we get that, one or two nice pops in the morning, and then things kind of calm down. So expect, right, that to be the conditions going forward until proven otherwise. So few kind of setups here, right, that look really interesting. This MU, I love this, right? This is maybe one of my favorite setups. It's giving us two possible entries here. Giving us a possible inside bar breakout. You can get over that 83.90, right? Then you start moving to that 83.80, right? 84.90 or $84, $85 range, right? You can start to kind of fill up here, right? That could possibly be a nice swing continuation, right, on smaller size. Alternatively, right, this may be, if the market goes red this morning or, if we get some softness, right, I love this as a possible inside bar Bollinger Band breakdown, right? So open outside, close inside, very bearish candle, right? This last breakout candle on this August 4th, right, it kind of got rejected quite a bit after this gap fill. So filled the gap, right? Now maybe it's ready to kind of calm down and sell off kind of back towards this midline, right? That 77.50 area. So if we can get this inside bar triggered down, I think, this MU has room towards $80 on a day trade. And I think that could be a really interesting play. So something I'm definitely keeping an eye on. You can play this in either direction. I'm happy to play this to the downside if it triggers. So it'd be a lot of fun if that happens. Right, so we should have non-farms out. Actually, a nice little beat. That's pretty good. Not a shocking result. And a decent reaction here. Small little gap up from the market. So we're hanging above that 442. Not a huge pop, right? It wasn't a significant number. But that doesn't look too bad. So we'll see how this thing holds up over the morning for now. All right, so back to some of these setups, right? This BA, another one of those inside bar triggers here, right? Again, you can kind of look at this as indecision, right? This August 3rd and August 4th candles. You're basically getting 2 days of just, kind of glorified indecision. So we can get a breakout kind of up and over that 230, 240, right? Because we filled most of it. I'm happy to play that towards that 235, right? And then plus. Underneath, we'll be looking to lose this shelf, right, towards this low and this indecision. So if we lose this 224 shelf, right, I'll be looking for moves towards that 221. Right, already talked about Tesla, still in play. Right, this Amazon, another one that's been consolidating really well post earnings. I wonder if it has kind of legs to kind of get into its gap today. It would be a lot of fun, right? There's a couple things that are going on here. One, it's getting stuck under its psych level. So this 3,400 area, right, definitely a psych level. So getting stuck there, right? You want to make sure you get any clearances, right, for any long calls up and over that 34. Right, to the downside, you're stuck on this 33, right? So we have a $100 range in this Amazon, and it's just kind of hovering this trend line. So you need to see a break above this 3,400 to kind of start filling this gap towards this 35, right? Or we need to see breakdowns under this 3,300, right, to start moving down towards this 32. So if Amazon's going to chop about fine, I think bias is probably it's holding this trend line exceptionally well, and it's going to try to fill this gap to the upside, at least in the short term. So I love calls here if we can get over that 34. It might be a little bit expensive today, right, even though it's a Friday. So, maybe my bias is to play this already with just next week's out calls, right, and just not have to worry about the time decay, not have to worry about anything. If I'm going to play the next weeks, I can play the 3550s, right, 3600s. I can be really ambitious with them and give myself, a chance with some leverage that way. So we'll have to see what these are pricing like this morning. But I'll be happy to play this with next week's calls, no problem. Right? Let's wait a couple more here. All right, Snap, still waiting for that $80 break, right, on this bull flag. Continues to hold up exceptionally well. So let's see if we can get that breakout up and over. Let's see. NVIDIA, right, one more here. So NVIDIA, been giving us a little bit of indecision recently. Just giving us a little bit of indecision. So, like with these, since like post split, it has given us quite a few head fakes. So it gave us that head fake over that 200 area, which was 800, pre-split. Gave us that, kind of like fake out a couple times at 200, right? And so that gives me a little bit of pause. Like I want to see this thing absolutely break and rip on high conviction before I chase this up. So I might wait for like a full body close over this 208.80 area, right? And then look to enter on a pullback, right, towards that sort of low. That might be sort of the target or sort of way I want to play this. And I think that could be, right, maybe the safer way of going. So I'd like to see if we can figure out something that way. NVIDIA has room towards that 210. Right, but again, like I'm a little bit skeptical after those fake outs. So if I do play it, probably going to start sizing down on this thing, and then going to worry on, making sure that I have that extra little piece of confirmation before chasing this up. So definitely like not the craziest of mornings, right? I think there definitely is some potential for some action today, especially kind of off that opening bell. But I'm not seeing, that many triggers. So be patient, stay disciplined, right? Protect your winners once you're winning, and don't let winning trades turn into losing ones. Today could be a little bit challenging. It's been a little bit of a challenging week, right? It's been a little bit of a choppy week. So, stick to your guns, stick to your game plan, right? And be ready to dominate. If you want to know sort of all my trades, right, and all the stuff I'm looking at today, right, please go to my website, www.dtrtrading.com/the blueprint, right? Link is in the description. You can download that PDF. It's free to use. And it'll give you sort of all my game plans, all the key levels, everything I'm looking at for on today's setups, right? So just set those alerts, have that game plan in front of you, and be ready to take advantage of it. Otherwise, everyone, I hope you have an incredible day, and best of luck out there, and happy hunting. We'll see you, Monday, and hope you have a great weekend. Peace.